out.
And things like that have happened in the past. Did you happen to see when you looked into my eyes, it just a glazed over look as I had no idea how to answer that question?
Where would the wedding take place? On what show? And here's Punk open to the corner, up over the top of MVP. Could be the opening Punk needs. Use the good arm that time for the hip toss. Cover again, and a kick out. And a loss here for MVP would be devastating, considering what General Manager Guerrero has asked him to do in this match.
Yeah, she asked him for a personal favor. And she's a woman who expects those favors to be answered.
Try to drive the elbow into the kidney. CM Punk right back in control again. We are back on Friday Night SmackDown. MVP continuing to dominate CM Punk. Remember, MVP made a little deal with General Manager Vicky Guerrero. She said, you take care of our problem in CM Punk, I'll think about renegotiating your contract, MVP. And MVP dominating since Punk's shoulder was driven not once, not twice, but 3 times into the steel post.
We've talked about what's on the line during this match, but let's not forget what...
Cover.
How much is on the line when Batista takes on the great Khali later in the show?
Yeah, a little bit later on tonight, Batista's career in the WWE is on the line. He's got to beat Khali. More on that in just a little bit. As MVP, the former United States champion, taking on Mr. Money in the Bank CM Punk. And let's not forget, Nick Foley, what happened at WrestleMania. MVP was climbing the ladder. Look at this, CM Punk right reversal and a kick out. MVP was climbing the ladder, was closing in on winning the Money in the Bank briefcase before Matt Hardy made an unexpected return and cost MVP Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he wasn't just closing in on it. It was his for the taking when Matt Hardy cost him that opportunity.
See a bit of a smile starting to break out on the face of MVP.
I call that his killer look.
As he again went to work on the shoulder. Our fans at Fresno State University trying to will Punk back into this matchup. And Punk has undergone so much punishment, not only the shoulder this week, but the ribs the past few weeks.
And he's not a huge guy. He wrestles a very, very physical style. Just willing to put his body on the line night in and night out to be a success here on SmackDown.
Trying to get back into this matchup. A very determined and resolute CM Punk.
Every step I see Punk taking on this road to success fills me with pride, because I remember seeing him as a young guy wrestling in front of very few fans and thinking he had what it took to become a WWE superstar.
And you're looking at 2 superstars here, Mick, who have completely different paths to the top here in WWE. As you mentioned, Punk toiled for years and years and years in promotions all over this country just to get to this point. MVP walked in, was handed the biggest contract in SmackDown history.
Sure, and that's why I think his fellow superstars respect CM Punk a little bit more, while they hold MVP. They resent the guy a little bit.
CM Punk's going to respect MVP, and look at shooting the half on the bad shoulder and a kick out. And did you notice how MVP shot the half on the bad shoulder? And what he's been working on all match.
Yeah, but I did notice is the look in Edge's face when MVP barged in.
Edge bowing up a little bit. World champion, and it's CM Punk. Could this be the opening Mr. Money in the Bank needs?
But he's really favoring that injured left shoulder, Cole. We'll see if that comes into play a little bit further in this match.
Well, the only good thing for Punk is he is right-handed, number 1. And number 2, he can use his feet as a weapon as well, trained in the martial arts. Here's the cover. Hooks the leg with a good arm and a kick out by MVP. CM Punk, one of those guys that can do as much damage with his legs as he can his arms, Mick.
Yeah, he sure can, but we've seen that MVP, inflicting most of the damage up until this point, but that may change here in a hurry.
And CM Punk suddenly, knee to the temple. MVP maybe out on his feet. MVP's down. Punk could be closing in. Can he get it over? He does. Hooks the leg. He's got him in a kick out at 2.
And I wonder if Punk will be able to pick up MVP, a larger athlete for the GTS, go to sleep with that injured shoulder.
What a matchup here on Friday Night SmackDown. CM Punk building momentum. MVP in trouble. Again, Punk hooks the leg. 2. Oh, and another near fall for Mr. Money in the Bank.
And we've seen so many of those near falls because both these guys know that so much is at stake here.
Punk with a look of disbelief toward referee Charles Robinson. Thought he had the 3 count there.
MVP has proven to be a resilient competitor. Bounced back from that devastating loss in the United States Championship. Oh!
And CM Punk, I believe he couldn't get up to the top rope quick enough because he didn't have the use of the left arm. And MVP took advantage.
It's an excellent point and one I missed.
That often doesn't happen. If you're working with JR, it probably will never happen.
No, man, JR, he's sharp. No wonder
Punk with a headbutt. CM Punk using all parts of his body. MVP in trouble. Can Punk capitalize? Oh! And MVP! You saw how he got his knee up.
And connected flush with that injured left arm seemed to be the elbow area. So now Punk in a situation where his shoulder and his elbow are both affected.
And we all know what it feels like when you get popped on that funny bone. Imagine 2 knees being driven into it. And it
doesn't feel very funny, does it?
MVP, referee Charles Robinson, I don't believe saw him expose that steel turnbuckle.
Well, at this point, I don't think MVP is as concerned with a win as he is with putting Punk out to please Vicky Guerrero.
Look at MVP calls it the distraction. Oh! Punk! And briefcase off the skull of MVP! CM Punk! Uh-oh.
The winner of this match as a result of a disqualification, MVP.
Oh, this is a damn shame. CM Punk, a victim of circumstance here. He was caught red-handed, but it was MVP who introduced the briefcase into the match.
Yeah, and that wasn't the go-to sleep, but MVP certainly went to sleep after that devastating knee.
MVP wins the matchup via disqualification, but he sure as heck paid for it. I mean, what a competitive matchup between these 2 stars. As referee Charles Robinson was putting a protective padding back on the turnbuckle that MVP had taken off. MVP went to use the Money in the Bank briefcase, and CM Punk connected off his skull. But now Punk is caught red-handed by referee Charles Robinson. MVP escapes. Nonetheless, MVP with a big win here tonight.
It's a big win, but I'm not sure he stated his case or made his case as to why he should be the highest paid athlete on SmackDown.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Batista's career is in terrible jeopardy tonight. Batista must win. He must beat the great Khali, or his career in the WWE is over. And it is deja vu from One Night Stand a couple of weeks ago. The same stipulation facing The Undertaker.